Hello and welcome back to Planet Nibiru, where anything is possible. Today, we're going to discuss what is going on in our skies. What are all of these strange anomalies that have suddenly started to happen with such frequency that they are almost the norm now? The answer to that may lie in what is probably the most important conspiracy theory ever put forth. Why is it the most important? Because it is the conspiracy theory to end all conspiracy theories. If all is taken at face value and it goes to plan, this is the last step in the quest for global domination and control of the masses. This is the coup de grace, the master stroke, the final shot in a long battle. Some of you already know what I'm talking about just from its description. You recognize its importance from your own research, and you know what is to come. Of course, I'm talking about Project Bluebeam. We have been seeing so many anomalies in the skies over the last few years that we are now accustomed to them, and we rarely even give them a second look unless they are completely inexplicable. These anomalies are, to many people, the beginning of the end of civilization as we know it. How, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. To answer that, we have to define just what Project Bluebeam is. In short, it is the attempt of the global elite to simulate an alien invasion. This alien invasion may or may not simulate a second coming of Christ, but it will invariably spark a New Age religion that will result in a new world order with the Antichrist set as the leader. There are many versions of this story, each one with a slightly different set of details, or it's adjusted to fit specific religious dogmas, and there is no official version. But all of them include a simulated invasion. Some claim there will be raging battles in the sky. Some claim those battles will be with UFOs and aliens, while others believe that the battles will be simulated with angels. But every version has a battle that will take place in order to usher in the New World Order. There are many references to Project Bluebeam throughout history. One that is particularly chilling is the story of Wernher von Braun. Wernher von Braun was the leading German rocket scientist in World War II. After Germany was defeated, he was brought to the United States as part of Operation Paperclip. He worked for years with NASA and the US military developing many types of rockets. On his deathbed, von Braun confided in his nurse, whom he had grown very fond of, that there was a plan for world domination. The plan he described used false flags to take over the world. He spoke of the War on Terror as part of this plan and said that the very last step would be a fake invasion scenario where aliens would be used as scapegoats and the world would be fooled into thinking that we were at war with another race, and the end result would be a one-world government ushered in by the need for a central leadership for the planet's resources and defense systems. Now, as you can see, this is indeed the greatest conspiracy theory ever, simply because of the enormity of the undertaking. To fake an alien invasion in the skies and make it believable, fooling the entire world with holograms, to usher in sweeping political and social change is so seemingly impossible that just the suggestion of it invites ridicule. And perhaps that is their greatest asset. When something seems too ludicrous to be true, you can get away with almost anything because nobody will believe it. Anyhow, that is the loose definition of the Project Bluebeam conspiracy. If the definition isn't enough to blow your mind, then surely the steps in the process of pulling off this fake invasion will be more than enough. In order to pull this thing off, they will need visual technology that is second to none. And we already have video technology that is so real that the only way that we tell the difference is that we know that these things don't exist. Take CGI UFOs or monsters that are commonplace in today's cinema, for instance. These are excellent examples of how video technology is so good that it easily fools the brain. Unless you are watching some low-budget shows on Sci-Fi Channel, modern CGI is up to the task of fooling our eyes. But they're going to need more than that to pull off the greatest lie ever told. A lot more. The question is, do they have what it takes? Many in the conspiracy community say yes, they do. If modern CGI is up to snuff fooling everyone in a 2D format, then what is the state of modern 3D technology? Does it pass muster on the believability scale for most folks? Many people will answer to that question with a resounding yes. While again, we know that it isn't real, our minds have a hard time disconnecting from the body's inputs in modern 3D experiences. It is very common to see people swatting at 3D birds or bugs during a 3D film, or to see them moving in their seats to avoid falling or avoid something that is moving towards them. So this clearly illustrates that not only do people consciously believe in what they are seeing, they also subconsciously believe it. Their bodies are fooled into believing that what they are seeing is real, and they react to it the same way they would in any other real-life situation. This is even more important because it's proof that the body is completely fooled by today's technology. But what happens when you're introduced to 7D technology? In 7D, you can not only see and hear what is being presented, but you can also feel it. Scientists and engineers have developed the technology to a point where you are presented with impossible imagery that you can experience as if it was lifelike. Adding to that, the sense of touch to this experience was the final building block in making the experience a true virtual reality. This new 7D technology might even be considered as the first true virtual reality, as it's the first time that viewers can experience sight, sound, smell, and touch all at the same time. Now I know what you're wondering, how in the world are they able to simulate the sense of touch? I know that that's the first question that I had. As it turns out, scientists found a way to manipulate the density of moisture in the air. The process is described as slightly increasing the distance of hydrogen atoms in the air to give the simulation of touch. The touch is said to be similar to a light resistance of sorts. It's not the hard surface that you can knock on, but rather a soft texture that works with the imagery to produce a unique combination experience. This simulated touch is still not equal to the real thing, but scientists are making great strides every day with this technology, and they expect that soon they will be able to fully simulate touch that cannot be distinguished from the real thing. When that occurs, humanity will have to seriously look at how we define reality. Nowadays, if you can see it, smell it, hear it, and touch it, then it's real. But soon, we will be able to hit all of those requirements with simulations. But that's a conversation for another day. So, with 7D technology, they can project lifelike 3D holograms that are complete with sound, smell, and even simulated touch. Add into this all of the background simulations that they do in current cinemas nowadays, like rumbling and shaking that you can feel in your seat, which can be accomplished with sound, and you start to get an idea of how they can actually pull off this greatest hoax of all time. Think about blanket news coverage, 24/7, with scenes of battles in our skies and in our cities, complete with real destruction and deaths mixed in with the holograms, and now you get the picture. With this technology, it is possible that they could pull something like this off. If you look at the false flag operations that have been pulled off in the past with little or no technology needed, then consider what could be done with these new and awesome technologies, and you can clearly see that they could pull something like this off. With all of the anomalies in our skies today, things that we cannot explain, from UFOs to dragons, humanoid figures, cloud formations that have never been seen before, lights and spirals, and all manner of things that didn't exist in our skies 40 years ago, but somehow in the last 10 years have become everyday occurrences, we have to ask why. What is going on in our skies? Where are all of these abnormalities coming from? In short, there is no good answer. Well, not one that people want to hear anyway. In my mind, the closest logical explanation lies in these so-called conspiracy theories. They are the only ones who come even close to offering a rational explanation for what is happening. Most folks refuse to even listen to these theories, much less give them any credence or investigate them for themselves. Whether it's laziness or social programming, the end result is that we go through life wondering what is actually happening and never figuring it out. The one thing we can do to not only help figure out what is happening, but also to prove that these anomalies are real, it should be addressed, studied, and accounted for by our government, is to continue to document them. Take pictures, film the videos, be active in a community that follows these anomalies and attempts to either study them or at least reports and catalogs them. It is the easiest, most effective way to promote awareness. Show others. When everyone does their part, great things can happen. When groups of humans are determined to do something, great wondrous things can be accomplished. If you have pictures or video, send them to us and we will be happy to include them in future videos. With that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. I ask that you please like, subscribe, and comment on our videos as it helps us tremendously. Get in the comment section and let us know what you think. Be a part of the community and share your research, thoughts, and opinions. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. And all conspiracy theories. If all is taken at face value and it goes to plan, this is the last step in the quest for global domination and control of the masses. This is the coup de grace, the master stroke. That they are almost the norm now. The answer to that may lie in what is probably the most important conspiracy theory ever put forth. Why is it the most important? Because it is the conspiracy theory to end. Hello and welcome back to Planet Nibiru, where anything is possible. Today, we're going to discuss what is going on in our skies. What are all of these strange anomalies that have suddenly started to happen with such frequency? The final shot in a long battle. Some of you already know what I'm talking about just from its description. You recognize its importance from your own research, and you know what is to come. Of course, I'm talking about Project Bluebeam.